Hey, what's up everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Queen Sugar Season 3 Episode 12, and the name of this episode is The Horizon Leans Forward. This was a very powerful episode, and I can't wait to talk about it, so let's begin. First person I'm going to talk about is Micah. We see that Micah meets up with KJ, and he's been trying to get in touch with everybody, but you know, no one's reaching out, but he finally reaches out. But finally, him and KJ meet up, and I think they're like in the library. And KJ tells him the truth that, you know, everybody's scared, you know. And like KJ's like, look, I got a track scholarship I'm trying to maintain. You know, we all kind of trying to keep our heads low because we ain't trying to bring any more attention to ourselves. And he also in this conversation, Micah finds out that Ann is on house arrest, and you know, but Micah's like, look, we need to do something. You know, we need to reach out. We need to do something. And KJ's like, look, we just need to kind of stay low or whatever. We don't need to bring any more attention to ourselves in any way. But Micah, on the other hand, is like, look, we need to be there for him. I mean, he's literally going down for something we did. We need to be there for him. We need to reach out to him. And this is when KJ decides to flip it on Micah and was like, well, you know, you wouldn't really understand where Ant's coming from me, because after all, you're very privileged, you know, and if you were to be put on house arrest, it wouldn't mean nothing to you living in that big old house you live in. And then wants to say that, you know, well, it seems that, you know, as far as where you are, you know, you like taking pictures of everything, but one thing is that you're never in the picture. You know, everyone else is in the picture, but you're not. And Michael says that's unfair. And it is. Because, you know, I understand where KJ's coming from with this. You know, the fact that Micah's privileged, he really wouldn't understand the fact that, you know, with Ant being on house arrest, how much that is not only going to take away from his life, but also how it's going to impact him later on. But KJ, really though? Because where was all this shit talking when y'all was up in Micah's house making y'all plans to do what you did at the plantation? Where was this talk when Ant was trying to get some regular milk instead of drinking the almond milk that Charlie bought in the house? Huh? So I'm also looking at it from like this, like, and we need to stop doing this to each other too, you know, as a people, because you got some of us who are struggling and some of us who are privileged. Now, the thing about it is that the privileged are supposed to help the ones who are, you know, disenfranchised, or the ones who are considered the have-nots, you know. But at the end of the day, we have no right to sit up here and bash them for being privileged, because Micah didn't choose to be privileged. He was born into privilege. His mother is a well-renowned businesswoman, and his father is a basketball star. He didn't choose his parents. So even though he's privileged, he has become enlightened ever since he moved to St. Joe. He's become enlightened after being harassed by the police. Yeah, KJ, had that ever happened to you? Huh? So don't be throwing stones at people when you really don't know the walk that they're going. You're just on the outside looking in. But yeah, KJ, you sure as hell had no problem being up in that damn house, you know, hanging out with Micah, because it seemed to me every time y'all got together, y'all were at Micah's house. You ain't have him at your house, KJ. You ain't have him at your house, Malik, or Asha, or Ant. Everybody was meeting up at Micah's house. Micah was their new little rich friend, and now that he was on their side, and as a matter of fact, when it went down, when the whole thing went down, Micah was right there with you guys. So for him to kind of put that on Micah, I thought that was wrong, and it was out of order. Even though what he said was true, still, bruh, at the end of the day, where's the loyalty? Then we see later on that Micah does go to visit Aunt against what Charlie told him to do, because Charlie was like, you need to stay away from him. You don't need to bring no more attention to yourself. But then Micah kind of, lets Charlie know that, look, he doesn't have anybody. He's literally about to go down for something that we all did, and I just can't allow him to be by himself, because let's be real, Mom, if it was on me, you probably would have turned all of them in just to save me. And of course that pissed Charlie off, because we know damn well Charlie would go to bat for her kid, as what any mother would do. But we see that he goes to meet up with Aunt. Aunt at first is very standoffish to him, because probably Aunt is realizing that, yeah, he's really by himself, and he ain't really got no allies. But Micah assured him that I'm by your side, and I'm gonna ride this with you, and I feel bad that you're about to go down for something we all did. But I liked how Aunt responded. Aunt was like, nah, they found my lighter at the scene, so therefore that put me there. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. Remember what you said, that you have to stand up for what you believe in, no matter the price you pay or no matter the sacrifice you have to make. You stand on principle, and I got that from you, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. But Michael reassures him that I will always be here for you. And I thought it was a beautiful scene to see these two young brothers, and the fact that Aunt is saying that I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take this regardless of what happens to me. I'm gonna stand true to what we were doing and what we're about, and I'm not gonna rat out anybody. So that is a good relief for me, because at first I was thinking Aunt was gonna sing like a canary. Turns out he hasn't. But then again, people that knew Aunt, they were pretty much up for investigation, and that's why KJ got a visit, and now all of a sudden when things get heated, now they all disperse, and now they're not around each other now. So, but Aunt said that, no, I'm not turning nobody in. I'm gonna ride this out. Yeah, I'm gonna miss my prom. Yeah, I was supposed to get involved in this program to help me go to college. I can't do that now, but it is what it is, because I'm fighting for something bigger. And we see that Micah, lets him know that he's gonna be there and support him. So I thought that was great. The next thing I'm gonna talk about is Darla and Ralph Angel. We see that Darla comes to pick up Blue. He's supposed to be learning how to ride a bike, because and we see that Darla comes, and we see that there's some genuine there's still some genuine chemistry between Ralph Angel and Darla, and they talk about Blue and everything, and he assures her that he pretty much says, I got the bike, and she says yes, and I bought him a helmet. I'm gonna work with him, helping him learn how to ride so he can ride with his friends and things like that. And we see that we actually see that Aunt Vi comes out to ask Ralph Angel a question. She pays Darla dust, but Darla is no longer affected by it. Darla's like, it is what it is. So I'm like, okay, we've seen that there's some growth in Darla to understand that, look, I pissed everybody off. So I realize everybody ain't gonna like me, but at the end of the day, as she said in the last episode, I don't want Ralph Angel to hate me, and I don't want Blue to resent me. So we see that was the main reason why she chose to speak up during that mediation in the last episode. So we see that Darla is trying to teach Blue how to ride his bike, and while she's trying to teach him, she tries to let him go, and eventually she does, but then he falls, and then Blue just gives up and says that I don't want to ride anymore, I can't do this, and he takes off everything and just walks away. And Darla's like, come on, Blue, don't be like that, come on. Blue didn't touch the bike no more after that. So after that weekend that he spent with Darla, Darla brings him back, and she tells Ralph Angel, look, I tried everything I could, but he really sucked at riding the bike, and there was nothing I could do, and it's like he doesn't even want to ride anymore. Ralph Angel's like, Blue, come out here. The one thing that we don't do is quit. You need to trust yourself and you need to trust us. And he's like, you won't get back on that bike and you're going to learn how to ride. You're not giving up. So we see, so now Darla realizes that Blue needs his father. Because here was, she couldn't teach him how to ride a bike by herself. But when they both decided to join together, and Blue got on the bike and he told them, like, can you both hold me up and don't let me go until I say it's okay? And he's like, we're not going to let you go. So the both of them held on while he rode the bike, and eventually he learned how to ride the bike. And it was such a beautiful moment because it made Darla and Ralph Angel embrace. And I was like, okay, now we know why Trent didn't work out. You still got feelings for Darla, Ralph Angel. And in this scene, it was really evident. And we see that Darla still has feelings for him. But at least they now sat down and had a conversation. And they're talking while Blue is now riding the bike throughout the yard. So now Blue knows how to ride the bike. And both of his parents are right there. And it was a very beautiful scene. And they decided they're going to go 50-50. And then Ralph Angel shares that after his probation is up, he's going to be able to take Blue places. He wants to take Blue to the golf. He wants to take him to Disney World and Disneyland and Cali. And he wants to do all these things. And Darla was like, I would like to see that. I think he's going to love it. So we see that there is now a mutual respect between the two of them. And it was beautiful. And I hope they maintain it because Blue needs both of them. He needs his father and he needs his mother. And it was good to see them two come together to say we're going to be parents and not make it about us, but make it about him. Because them coming together, now Blue know how to ride the bike on his own. And Blue was just riding it by himself. And I was so happy for that. I was like, see, that is such a moving moment, you know. And I was glad to see that the two of them coming together is what helped Blue to have the confidence to ride a bike on his own. So that was a movie. That was a awesome scene right there. Okay, let's see. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about Aunt Vi. Now, we get a scene where Aunt Vi is working on the seating chart for the wedding, and Nova and Charlie are there. Charlie at one point was on the phone talking to Romero, which he does make an appearance in this episode. But she pretty much calls attention to Nova and Charlie, and she was talking about, she's kind of working through the seating chart for the wedding. But then Charlie was like, well, could you add a +1 for me because I might be bringing somebody? And she was like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, Vi turns attention to Nova. So I'm like, yeah, so what about you, Nova? You want to get +1 for that mystery man or woman, whoever, And she can definitely tell there is a lot of tension between Nova and Charlie due to the fact because of Remy's old slimy ass. And, Aunt Vi kind of picked up on it like, yo, what is going on? Like, what's going on with you two? Like, something ain't been right with y'all. Like, what's going on? And Nova admits that, well, the person that she was seeing was Remy, but it's over now. I ended it. And she was like, oh, you think because you ended it that everything is okay? And then Aunt Vi began to go on she went in on Nova's ass. She was like, okay, first of all, you're telling your daddy's business in your little, in your article. Now you up in here, trailing over, Charlie Sloppy Seconds. Charlie, how do you feel about this? And she was like, it wasn't like that. And she's like, so what? You was messing with him while he was, she's like, no. It was not while he was with Charlie. I thought it was genuine. I thought it was real. But then I realized, it was not going to do nothing but bring hurt to everybody. So that's why I ended it. But yeah, because I'm like, Nova, it don't matter whether you was seeing Remy while they were together or not. At the end of the day, it was going to be an issue. And you was for the bullshit until Aunt Vi rattled your fence and let you know that you're off and you need to fix it. But once she realized this, oh, Aunt Vi was just not here for it. She was like, you know what? I know you feel you grown and all of that, but what you doing is extra, and I just can't. I don't like it, and I don't want no parts of it at all. And we see that Aunt Vi then walked off or whatever. But then we see that we saw in the beginning of the episode, Charlie is actually watching Aunt Vi on TV. Remember the last episode, she had an interview about, Vi's pies. And, in the beginning of the episode, Charlie was actually watching it on TV. So, ever since now that it's on television, her orders have doubled. And now, they are pretty much working around the clock to get this going. And we see that Aunt Vi is working in the kitchen, and at the same time, they finally had that community council meeting about them building the jail. But while she's working, she ends up having an attack, and Rhonda and her other assistant, take Vi to the hospital. And it was after the fact that she got out the hospital, we see that Hollywood is there and the whole family's there. She finally tells them that, what happened to me is that I had pneumonitis. It was inflammation of the lungs. But I want to actually tell you all something, that I've been diagnosed with lupus. So, of course, the only person that knew besides Hollywood was Nova. And she said, but don't worry, I'm trying my best to maintain. Nova's been helping me with my diet and all of that. So, of course, Ralph Angel and Charlie like, dang, Nova knew about it, but you didn't tell us. And, of course, Ralph Angel is definitely feels some kind of way, because Nova is like a second mother. Because Aunt Vi is like a second mother to him. So, of course, he's like, why would you keep something like this from us? We could be here for you, like. And then Charlie was the same way. But then she says that, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't tell you guys, but I'm definitely gonna need help, and I'm definitely I'm definitely grateful that you all wanted to come and support me. But yeah, I'm actually gonna need some help, and I'm definitely gonna need people there to support me. I'm definitely gonna need my family. And pretty much she says, don't even worry about the order. We got you. We're gonna go down there. We're gonna help out, because she says it's only Rhonda and the other girl in the kitchen, and they can't do everything by themselves. So they said, okay, we're gonna go down there. We're gonna see that this order goes out. So her business is thriving, but then her dealing with the issues, family issues, and then also the pressure now that she's been on television, her orders have doubled. And we actually see that now Vi realizes that she has to be vulnerable, and she has to let people help her. Because we've seen throughout the whole season how Vi was not trying to share information about her lupus, and that she wanted to do everything by herself. She didn't want Hollywood's help. She didn't want nobody doing everything. She wanted to do it all for herself. Now, due to the fact that she had this attack, she now realizes that she needs to rely on more people. And then on top of it, she needs to actually hire a team of people to work behind her, so when things fall apart for her, it won't slow down her business whatsoever. That she can have her moments, but yet the daily activities and the daily routine, and also the daily shipments of her pies will go on even if she's not present. So we're gonna see how this gonna play out. But the scene that they showed where Hollywood was bathing her, and she really is now reliant on Hollywood now. It was a very beautiful scene to see, because we actually see that she now has allowed herself to be vulnerable. She now allowed herself to let others care for her, instead of her feeling like she has to do everything. So that was a very beautiful scene. Okay. So now I'm gonna talk about Charlie. We see that in the beginning of the episode, as I mentioned before, she was watching Fi on television, and you know, orders were coming in left and right. We see that Prosper, she's there with Prosper. Prosper's also watching, and Prosper talks to his daughter and lets her know that, look, you know, I just wanted to check in with you, say how you doing, and you know, I just didn't want to worry you about what's going on, but you know, Charlie's gonna help me get my house back, and I'm so happy about this, and you know, things are looking good, and you know, I'll keep in touch with you. So he talked to his daughter and lets her know, and we still at this moment, he still has hope that he's gonna get back his land and get back his house, because you know that community council meeting's coming up. So then we see that he talks to Charlie about the council meeting or whatever, and he says, you know, we want you to speak up for us. And pretty much she says, I don't think it's a good idea. And he was saying that, look, you had the best ideas throughout this whole time as to, you know, what we should do and how we should act. And, you know, you've been the main person that's been leading the fight for us. And we feel that you are like the best person to speak up for the farmers. And that's when she decides to drop the bomb and let them know that she like, I sold Queen Sugar to the Landrys, you know, and of course he's like, how could you do something like this? And she says that, look, I did this because I did this for the farmers, you know, so that we can live to fight another day, and that we can get freedom from Sam, you know. I just did good business to help us. But then Prosper lets her know that, but you're doing business with the devil, Charlie, so nothing good ever comes out of it. So then we come to find out that Prosper done told all the farmers about her working with Sam Landry. And, you know, he said that they calling you a damn liar. They calling you a Judas, a Benedict Arnold. What you know, they calling you everything under the sun. And she had to remind him, like, they left me. And he's like, yeah, and you in return lied to them. So who's really winning in this situation? But then he lets Charlie know, I'm still behind you 100% because I know your intentions, and I know at the end of the day, you do care about the farmers and you do care about us. I may not like the fact that you decided to work with the Landrys, but I now understand why you did what you did. But then when it came down to the council meeting, we see that everybody shows up. Remy comes, you know, the Landrys, you know, the Landrys are there. And we can definitely see, we see that Ralph Angel and Charlie are with each other. And we see that Nova sits in another area away from Charlie because their tension is still there between them. But Ralph Angel called and he was like, why Nova sitting all the way over there? And like Nova and Charlie's like, I don't know. And she was like, and all of a sudden Ralph Angel looked and was like, y'all messy. I got tickled with that because I was like, he knows something ain't right with his sisters, and he was like, oh nah, something ain't right with y'all. Y'all need to, y'all on some other shit. And during the council meeting, they start talking, and you got the guy who's like the main MC, who's pretty much leading this whole discussion as to why the jail is going to be so great for the community, how it's going to create jobs and all of this crap, and how it's going to better the community. But then we see the farmers was like, nah, no it's not. What you guys are doing is that you just telling us it's going to be a good thing, but really you just ripping the heart out of our community. You want to come and destroy our community and then rebuild it back and made it seem as if you did something when all you did was just create havoc. I'm like, yeah, sounds familiar. So they pretty much are going back and forth or whatever, and then, you know, Ralph Angel nudges Charlie's like, you gonna say something? At first Charlie wasn't gonna say anything because she knows right now that the community's against her because Prosper done told every damn body that she sold Queen Sugar to the Landrys. But then, you know, eventually, you know, the situation gets to the point where Charlie realized she had to say something. So she gets up and starts speaking, and immediately the farmers start booing her. They start calling her names. Like, she's talking about some, you a tramp. You know, I heard somebody call her a tramp, and someone was like, yeah, you with them, Charlie. So what makes you think you can speak for us when at the end of the day you working with the enemy and all of that? And she pretty much says, I didn't sell Queen Sugar for myself. I sold it for you guys, so all of you can have the chance to fight another day. The fact that you guys can still farm your lands and still be able to take care of your families. Like, I did this for you. I didn't make this deal for me. But then she starts going in about this privatized jail. She lets it be known that no, this jail is nothing but an opportunity for the same people who's been ripping off our community to continue to profit off of us. As a matter of fact, who you think gonna house these jails? These young black women. Yeah, and sorry about that. Just had a malfunction there, but pretty much Charlie stands up and she speaks about how this jail is only gonna profit the Landrys in the upper crust, and that it's about to rip the community apart. Because she says that, one, you know, at the end of the day, most of these people who are going to be working for the prison are getting paid the minimum, meaning they're only making minimum wage in most cases. And then she also talks about how, yeah, these people will be considered citizens, but they won't actually have any right to actually vote or do anything. So here it is, you getting the numbers, you getting free labor, and you're getting all of this, and at the end of the day, none of this is going to profit St. Joe at all. And she pretty much stands and she lets them know that, you know, yeah, St. Joe's is not for sale. And I thought that was a very beautiful scene. I thought it was everything. And it was something that definitely needed to happen. And she gets a standing ovation. Like, everybody clapped for her. Even Remy's old smug ass had to fucking give her props. Because even in the midst of all of this rejection, she stood her ground and proved that she was for the community and for her people. And that she made a move to get to, and she says that I realized that no matter what we've done, they were still gonna find a way to keep us down. And this privatized jail is another example, which is why we cannot allow this jail to come into this community, because it will do nothing but kill us. So we see while she's in the bathroom, one of the farmers tells her thank you, because she was that one person that spoke up. And then we see that Sam Landry's sister, her name is actually Frances, and that's Jacob's mother. Frances comes in there and talks to her and lets her know about this, one of the council members, because there's 7 council members who are going to vote whether they're going to build a jail or not. One of the council members, Ward, she's kind of like the swing one. She can go either way. So we're hoping for her vote that it could kind of go in our direction. So we're seeing that the two of them are talking, but Charlie kind of lets her know that, yeah, it's to the point now where I don't believe in fairy tales, because it seemed to me that really what it is that we're being fed. It's like, you know, we want to believe that they're good, that there's good out here in this world, but it seems to me that there's always evil lurking, even at our doorsteps. And she kind of gives her that look like, yeah, I see where you coming from, but I don't trust your ass. Because she's letting Frances know, I don't trust you. You know, you with a Landry, and at the end of the day, you would turn on your own brother. So yeah, I'm looking at you with 3 eyes. So they go back in, they do the vote. You know, it gets down to 3 for it and 3 against it. And then the last one, it came down to the Congressman Ford. And eventually, pretty much, when it came down to that last council member, she voted for. So therefore, they're going to build the damn jail. And we see that Charlie feels defeated. It's like she completely dropped after hearing this news. But we even see that even when she did that speech, it even motivated Micah. So finally, he sees his mother as being a revolutionary and being a person who stands up for what she believes in. So now Micah was even inspired by Charlie. And after all of this that went down, we see that Micah goes on the internet to search on how to start a rally. So we see that Micah is now going to make a stand and put himself in the forefront, you know, just like how Nova was, you know, being an activist. We're now starting to see that Micah's starting to go in that direction himself. But then also, it was great to see that, it was also great to see that, that, you know, that Charlie just felt completely defeated. And then we see that Prosper calls his daughter and says that, yeah, come and get me, you know. So we see that even Prosper just looks down and defeated, because he was hoping he was going to get his land back, but that didn't happen. Now that they're going to build this jail, everybody's screwed. But then again, I think with Micah leading this charge, all is not lost. So, you know, I think what's gonna call is I think it's gonna really call for like some more mainstream attention, and I think that's how she's gonna stop them. So, yeah, it stopped with the council members, but there's still more fighting to do, and we see that Micah, seeing his mother take a stand for the farmers, it actually inspired him to actually now take a stand and fight and lead a mobilization of his own. So I thought that was great. But yeah, it was also sad to see that Charlie felt defeated, and also that Prosper has finally called his daughter and told her to come and get him, you know, because he was holding out on everything, hoping that he was going to get his land back. But now seeing that they're going to build this jail, you know, they both see that, you know, we lost. But then again, it was also wondering, okay, did Frances come into the way where she influenced that council member to vote for it instead of against it? Because if anything, she kind of gave a look to Frances after the vote was cast, and you know, she kind of played it off and kept walking. But you know, I'm kind of looking at Frances with a set of eyes too, like, you know, I don't know if I can trust her ass. And we don't know whether she's working for Charlie or working against Charlie. Because we see in the next episode, you know, when she has a conversation with Sam Landry's like, if she were to turn her own back on her brother, what do you think she's going to do to you? So we're going to see what's going to happen there. So that's what I have, everybody. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Queen Sugar. So until next time, everybody, take care.